Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel and welcome back to the homestead. So it's springtime and it's busy as most homesteads are at this time. We have our turkeys hatching, we have chickens coming in, the garden to get ready, I'm starting a market stand, and just a lot of other things in between. So I just wanted to take a minute and talk to you guys about turkey. So it's no surprise that Paul and I are very passionate about turkeys. We like to raise turkeys, we breed turkeys, we actually are very avid turkey hunters as well. Back when we lived in Ontario, we would hunt them every spring. It's one of our favorite things to do. It was almost known, just don't contact us during turkey season, we're out in the woods. But moving to New Brunswick, they do have a season, but it's on a draw basis. So last year I was lucky enough to draw a tag. This year, not so lucky. Hopefully next year Paul will be able to draw his tag, third time's a charm, but there is limited tags out here just due to the numbers. The species of wild turkey that is in New Brunswick is the Eastern Wild. The Eastern Wild has made its way over from Maine and is now spread out in the western and southern parts of the province. So much so that we can now have a season that has been running 4 years in a row. So let's talk a little bit of the characteristics of a wild turkey. What are we looking for when we see a wild turkey? What makes a male a male? What makes a female a female? Well, let's break it down for you. A male bird is your typical Thanksgiving turkey. When you see that nice big fan, puffed up bird, red head, that is what a male turkey looks like. The male turkey also has a long snoot that hangs down from his beak and big gobblers just at the base of his neck there. They kind of get engorged as he puffs up and drums. And one of the most distinct characteristics of a male turkey is that gobble that every turkey hunter loves to hear. Now, during this time when a turkey's puffed up, they'll also do something referred to as spitting and drumming, where they'll puff their bodies up and they'll suck in a bunch of air, and it almost sounds like they're drumming on their chest, and they cut their wings into the grass, the sand, the rocks, whatever they're basically walking on there. Which on older male birds, you'll notice their wing tips are all cut up just from doing that for however long they were alive. So an Eastern Wild has a beautiful bronze color to it, almost black as they mature. And they will have spurs, really big, thick spurs on the back of their legs. They will have a beard, a red head that turns blue and white, depending on its mood or fighting, dominancy, breeding, either way. So the Eastern Wild hen looks a lot different. She's smaller in stature, more of a brown color, more of a brown bronzy color. Now, I have seen them puff up, spit, drum, attack decoys, be aggressive, purr. I've seen the hens do all the kind of things the males do, but you can tell when a hen is a hen. And also, hens can have beards. So it's good to know more than just the beard for the identification of a turkey, as bearded hens will lay eggs and they will nest their eggs. So as far as I'm concerned, bearded hens are off limits because they are still reproducers for the next generation. So where do turkeys like to live? Where do they stay? Where can you find them? Let's discuss that now. So wild turkeys like to stay in the woods. They like to roam in the woods. They roost up in trees in the woods. They nest their eggs in the woods. But they do come out to the fields to get the green grass, to maybe shake themselves off if it's a wet day, get some sun on them. But mostly they're going to be in the woods. That's where the turkeys like to dwell, and that's where they like to live. So we can now talk a little bit about the laying habits and patterns of the Eastern Wild. Now, the hen will typically lay about 14 eggs in her clutch. If something happens to that clutch, she will be able to lay another clutch of 14, but not much more after that. Now, it has been said they could get up to 18 eggs, but yeah, so we'll say between 14 and 18 eggs that they can lay. They will find an area that's really enclosed with a lot of shrubs and trees and brush, and that's where they'll lay their egg. And once they've dropped their 14th egg, the hens will then sit on their nest for basically the whole gestation period, which is 27 days, only getting up for roughly 4 hours a day for feeding and watering for herself. Then she'll come back to the nest and protect it. Now, after that 27, 28 days when her babies pop out, For the first 2 weeks of their life, they cannot regulate their heat temperature. So they have to be in an area that doesn't have a lot of foliage, a lot of grasses that can get them wet and get on their down, because they will freeze to death. They just can't regulate the temperature. They also can only eat soft bugs, so mosquitoes, like black flies. So they can only eat soft insects in those first 2 weeks of life. So it's very difficult for the mama hen to basically keep her poults alive during that time. That being said, on our property, we have taken measures to manage our land for the turkey poult and for the turkey hen so that she has the most success with her breeding and brooding, so that we have more babies for the future, because that's the future of New Brunswick hunting, is the poults and the hen. So if we take care of them, we will ensure that we'll have hunting for generations to come. When it comes to turkey hunting, it's not as easy as one may think to just kill a bird. Everything wants to eat a turkey in the woods, so they are on high alert. They have great eyesight and they hear very well. So if they see or hear something they don't like, they're out of there. And you probably won't get a chance at that bird again for that day, if for that season. So they're also very clever, they're smart, and they remember. So if they see something they don't like, or you shoot another bird in front of another turkey and they take off, they'll remember that and probably won't swing by that area again. When it comes to your gear and your setup, you can legitimately sit against a tree just as long as you're properly concealed. You could also use a pop-up blind. You could use a little half blind, but you could also just sit up to a tree. It's all about your camo and staying still. That's the biggest thing when you're turkey hunting, is staying still. These birds, like I said before, they could see everything, every movement, especially when they're up close to you. So that's one of your biggest challenges when you're out hunting, is just make sure that you stay still, especially if you see that bird in your sights. Now, when it comes to your clothing, you want to make sure you layer. In Canada, especially at springtime, we have yo-yo temperatures, so you have really cold temperatures in the morning, it heats up in the afternoon, and it drops back down in the evening. You'll also need a good pair of thin gloves, face mask, and a toque or a hat. Be careful with the hat though, because sometimes the bill of the hat can give you away when you're moving. So you got to really master keeping your head straight and moving your eyes when you're looking for things. So calling is another important aspect of hunting turkeys. You can use a diaphragm call, which is a mouth call. You can use a box call or a slate call. They all work perfect. Just practice with these calls just to make sure that you have the best success. So when it comes to decoys, I do like to use them. I will use normally a Jake, as that time of year toms are fired up. So if you want the dominant tom in the area and he sees a little Jake, he's gonna come running in there to come beat him up and tell him get out. So that's normally the decoys I like to stick with. There is times though, as you move on to the season, where turkeys will get wise to decoys, and if they see them, they just won't come in. So it's almost, you got to play it to ear to the birds that are in your area, and that's how you'll know if you can use a decoy or not. But generally speaking, if you're using decoys, it helps you to get that tom within range for you to get a proper shot on them. When it comes to your firearm, you can use a shotgun, you can use a crossbow or a compound bow, whichever you like. I like to use the 20 gauge. It works well for me. My husband uses a 12 gauge, but we both also use bows. So it's whatever you're more comfortable with. Just remember your shot sizes, because during the turkey season, there's only specific shot sizes you could use, normally number 4, 5, and 6. I think they've allowed 7, but please check your regulations in your area before you use that load. Just practice, because you always want to make sure you know where you're shooting. And when you're aiming on a turkey, you're going to be aiming by the beard area at the base of the neck, just so you get the most ethical shot you can. The biggest thing to remember when you're hunting the turkeys is try not to move as much as you can. Try to get yourself concealed, and you always want to get in within that 30-40 yard range if you're using a shotgun for your turkey, or if you got a bow, try to get within that 20-yard range. But the biggest thing is just stay still, be properly concealed, and you should have a good hunt. Now, if you're passionate about conservation and you love turkeys, I would definitely recommend you become a member. Just reach out to your local CWTF. It's only $35 and you can contribute towards such a wonderful cause. They also host yearly banquets where you can go rub shoulders with everybody, have some dinner, win some prizes, and put some money towards the turkeys. I know there's a lot in this video and there's a lot more to talk about when it comes to turkeys, so I will be putting together some more videos in the future. And hopefully if I draw a tag or if Paul draws a tag in the years to come, we'll be able to put together a turkey video for you guys, because that would be awesome. Paul and I have hunted turkeys for many years in Ontario. We were successful every year. So it's nice to be out here where it's almost the start of a new chapter for turkeys here in New Brunswick, and it's really exciting. But if you guys like this content, you want to hear more, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're always alerted to our new videos. And thanks for joining along, everyone.